So let's bring in CIA analyst Fred Fleitz. Fred, what do you think about the then private citizen Donald Trump suggesting that you negotiate first, which is where we're at right now, and if that doesn't work, then you start thinking about a shooting war?
Well, it's great to be here. I think that the president recognizes that a weak United States is extremely destabilizing. Let me point out something about this Washington Post report. We haven't heard the White House complain that this was a leak, because it wasn't a leak. It was an authorized disclosure to advance the president's policy, a legitimate use of intelligence. But let me tell you something else you may not know. This actually isn't news. DIA has believed this since 2013, and we know this because Congressman Doug Lamborn said during an April 2013 House hearing that this was the case.
Sure.
But the Obama administration tried to hide this information because it did not want to take action. It didn't want anything on the table that would prevent it from kicking this to the next president. Right. That's not Mr. Trump's position.
Fred, let's talk a little bit about what the Washington Post says. They said that North Korea has figured a way to make an atomic bomb so small they can put it on the tip of an ICBM, an intercontinental ballistic missile, and hit the United States. However, I believe in that same article it also talks about there is no certainty whether or not they have perfected the warhead re-entering our atmosphere and not disintegrating before it gets to its target.
Yes, there's questions about their nuclear program, whether they have a re-entry, and the reliability of their missiles has generally been very low. But frankly, if they can perfect a miniaturized nuclear weapon, the reliability is not going to be a big issue.
Right. When you look at the challenge right now and the president's rhetoric yesterday, we feel like we're at a point we've never been at before. Do you like what the president did a month ago when he complimented the leader, or do you prefer what he did yesterday and say fire and fury is coming your direction if you don't change your tone?
I think what the president did yesterday was trying to reflect the situation we're in. We have seen similar rhetoric by President Truman and by President Kennedy, and realize that he's reacting to a U.S. enemy that has repeatedly threatened to attack the United States with nuclear weapons and has put videos on the internet of Washington, D.C. being nuked. I think the president has just said enough is enough.
It sounds like he also was maybe doing that first part, negotiating, while he was trying to compliment them. When that didn't work, the double down, the triple down, now he's taking it to another level because the sanctions didn't work, the negotiating didn't work, and now we might be forced to even put ground troops in or fire back. Here's what's scary, though. We were looking at the time frame of how long it would take a nuclear weapon to make it to the States. New York City, 38 to 39 minutes. Chicago, 37 to 38 minutes. Los Angeles, 33 to 34 minutes. And Hawaii, it would only take 20 minutes, Fred. Should we be worried?
You know, I'm not worried that that's going to happen anytime soon, because if North Korea attempted that, the missile might fail, we might shoot it down, and then we would turn their country into a parking lot. I think the increased rhetoric by Mr. Trump is aimed at China. China has to stop cheating on sanctions. China has to put more diplomatic pressure on North Korea than it ever has before to address this threat.
Got to get China's attention by bolstering up with missile defense for our allies in the area. They'd hate that.
That's right. I mean, they do not want the THAAD missile system in the region, and there are a number of steps that they simply aren't going to support. They would not let an oil embargo be part of last weekend's resolution. I think that was a shame. That's the next step we should do. My friend Gordon Chang has said there are a number of non-military steps that can still be taken to address the situation, and I think Mr. Trump is putting pressure on the Chinese to say we're going to have to start implementing them.
All right.
Okay. Ball is in their court.
Mr. Fred Fleitz, thank you for being with us.
Good to be here.